G'day one and all, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make homemade horse treats. Now I found two recipes on the internet and we are going to make them. As you can see, I am not in my normal kitchen that I normally bake. I'm in my parents-in-law's kitchen, so that's what we're going to be using today. So the first horse treat recipe that we are making is it's called Homemade Horse Treats, and it's by Mama on the Homestead. So if you want to go check her out, and you can find the recipe and this on her webpage. So I'm just pretty much going to follow it, and I hope you enjoy the video. So first thing that we need to do is obviously wash our hands, so we need to go do that. The hands are all nice and clean, so now we're going to move on to the recipe. So with this recipe, we're going to need some oats. So I got some Uncle Toby rolled oats. We're going to need some flour in my lovely flour container here. I've just got some plain flour. Some carrots. So we're going to need some carrots. We're going to need an apple, a diced apple. We're going to need some honey. We're going to need also some applesauce. So I just got the normal applesauce from Coles, and some veggie oil. So I'm actually going to make two recipes here. So this is the first recipe, and I will explain the next recipe later on. So a little prep is involved here, so we'll start by cutting up the apple. So once it's diced, I did it really weirdly. I don't know why I did that. So we're now going to put these ones in. I almost cut myself there. I am not very consistent with chopping up stuff, but I'm all good, so let's continue. Alright, so now that we've got the apples diced, we're going to grate some carrots now. I've got my grater here, so let's grate some carrots. I think I'm going to put the apple in a bowl, as well as the carrot, just so everything's not everywhere. So step number one is obviously to prep the ingredients. So we've done that, so we've chopped up our one apple, so we've diced that up, and we've grated 2 carrots, all right? Oh God. So the next step is to preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Why do they use Fahrenheit? Now I don't know how this oven works, because all the dials don't actually have their numbers on it, so I'm just gonna wing it. So I've winged it, the oven is on, whether it's at 355 degrees or not, who knows. So the next step is we gotta grease a baking pan and to keep treats from the sticking on the pan. That's it, and we'll do that now. I have to go find one. That was easy. Alright, so we found our baking pan that has definitely seen better days, but we're going to use it. Alright, so I know baking paper is not meant to stick to pans and everything, but in my personal opinion, I like to spray the pan first. So it actually just, the paper, just very lightly, just because the paper will actually stick to the tray. And then you can like get rid of your excess baking paper. if you want to be extra, you can cut off the sides. I do that anyway. Show you what I'm actually doing here. Alright, fabulous. So you should have a pan, something like that. I mean, it will do for now. So the next step is to mix the oats and the flour together, okay? So, we need 3 cups of oats. So we'll do that one first. I got my measuring jug because I don't have any measuring cups. So that's 2 cups there, so we're going to add that to our bowl, which is over here. Then we need to add 1 more cup of oats. And that's 1 cup of oats there. Alright, get the excess oats. So, the next thing is the flour. So we need 1/2 cup of flour. Ooh. Flour just went everywhere. This is going to end disastrously. Alright, so that's 1/2 cup there. I'm going to add that to the bowl. Fabulous. So now we've got to mix those 2 up until they're combined well. God damn it. I'm good at cooking, I swear. Alright, so that's mixed up. So next we're going to add the applesauce, which is 1 cup. So we've got our applesauce as well as our honey. So you can use molasses, but I don't have molasses on me, so but I do have honey, so you can either use either or. So, and I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of honey. So I think I'm going to do the applesauce first and then the honey. Alright, so we need 1 cup of applesauce. Let's do this. Alright, applesauce, let's go. This is delicious. 1 cup, let's go. I have a feeling it's going to be like the whole jar. I hope I don't need applesauce in the next recipe. Alright. Alright, I don't need applesauce in the next recipe, so I'm just going to add the rest, which is literally like a couple of... not much. Gonna be nice and appley. Let's go. So we're gonna add this in. So now we're gonna add the 1/4 of honey. So there's 1/4 there. Add that to the bowl. Alright. So that's looking pretty good. So I'm pretty sure the next step is to mix it all. Yep. So you can use, at this point you can use a stand mixer if you have one. I'm not going to get one out because I'm lazy. It would probably speed up this process a lot more, but I already got the wooden spoon out, so I'm just going to make myself suffer. So let's do this. I realized that I kind of mucked up. I missed a step. So I kind of ignored the chop up the apples and the carrot step because I had already did that. Apparently that's step 3. So you're meant to finely chop or grate the 2 large carrots, which I've done. That's all good, I can add that. And 1 apple into small pieces. They're not really that small. So maybe a food processor works great, but who can afford those at this point? But a blender works just as well. Now I don't want to use more blender, so I'm just going to reuse the knife and just chop them up into smaller bits. Okay, so I'm just going to add the carrot first. And then we're going to chop up some apples. Now we're just going to add to the bowl. Wait. And we're going to mix this sucker in again. This is a tutorial on what not to do. Alright, so now we're going to yeet that off. So now we're going to roll the mixture into little balls, or big balls in my, oh that's so sticky. In my opinion, big balls. So those are fucking massive. Oh well, she'll be right. Famous last words. So I was looking back through the recipe, right, because I was just like, wasn't I meant to use vegetable oil here? And they don't say. They don't. I think what I was meant to use the oil with was to grease the paper. So, but I already did that, so, oh well. Each to their own. Alright, so they're pretty much done. They're massive. Like I said, I'm probably going to definitely cut them into 4 while feeding my horses, maybe even smaller, because they are meant for a treat. So I won't give them the whole thing, I promise. So I'm just going to put these in the oven, and then we're just going to wait and see how they turn out. Oh, 15 minutes in the oven, by the way. So now they're in the oven. So they're in the oven cooking. And I'm about to set a timer. Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
Alright, fabulous. So, we're going to wait for those to cook. And while we're at it, we're going to finish up the dishes that we made dirty. I'm not going to, don't look at that. That doesn't exist. You gotta do the cooking, you know you can't be late. Grapes. Have any of you checked out the new the range from Horseland? the new Weather Beater saddle pads. Oh, what is it? The cobalt blue, the red, and the burgundy. I was so tempted to get the burgundy because it's just an amazing color. But I really don't want to get another set. Oh, shameful, really. Oh, I love speckled eggs. Speckled eggs are the shit. So my 10-minute timer is up. I know it says 15 minutes, but you should always check before the time's actually up. I got my mitts. Alright, they're looking pretty golden. I don't know when they're meant to be done. They smell good though. They've hardened up a lot. They're fucking massive. Alright, so that's them there. So I'm just going to cool them on the rack. I probably should read what it actually says. So yeah, so that recipe is pretty much done. All I can recommend is, and they have it on their website as well, thanks Mama on a Homestead, for giving us storage advice. So that's them there, they're very hot. She recommends storing them in an airtight container, which I have. Well, I got 2 containers here that I can put them in. I'm gonna wait for them to cool down obviously before I start shoving them in containers. So apparently they last up to a week, I think she said, or longer, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, so yeah, that's that recipe done. So the next recipe we're going to do is Easy Homemade Carrot Horse Treats by KV Supply. I don't know actually where KV is. Honestly, when I was looking for horse treat recipes, I literally went onto Google and typed up horse treat recipes, and they came up with so many, and so many came up with most of the recipes were the same because they all pretty much said oats, carrots, apples, and molasses, and some sort of other thing, and flour. And I thought that was amazing. So this recipe is a little bit different because I really like this recipe because it actually encourages you to use your horse's feed. So this recipe requires 2 carrots, some veggie oil, honey, salt, which is an interesting one. We've got some oats again, we've got some flour again, and a half a cup of horse feed. So I actually have all those ingredients, including my horse feed in this container. I have the high gain feed that my horses are currently eating at the moment, so I'm just going to use that. Alright, so let's move on to that recipe while those cool down.